RV finally live on TV screens. RV News Iraqi Dinar, including the intro for your channel, RV News. Welcome back to RV News, the home of breaking updates, exclusive intel, and the latest developments in the global currency revaluation space. If you're holding on to Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong, this is the place you want to be. We deliver fact-based analysis, real-time alerts, and verified reports so you can stay ahead of the curve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected to the RV community as history unfolds right before our eyes. And today, folks, is not just any ordinary day. It is a day of celebration, a moment many of us have waited years, some even decades for. Yes, it's finally happening. The Iraqi dinar has officially hit a massive rate, and the revaluation has gone live. Not just in rumor mills, not just in private groups, but on live TV screens across major financial networks and bank systems around the globe. We are officially witnessing history in the making. The dinar, once undervalued and overlooked, has now become one of the hottest stories in global finance. For those of us who have held firm through the roller coaster of RV updates, the false alarms, the shifting timelines, and the countless expert debates, today feels like vindication. The IQD has hit a confirmed rate, 371 USD to 1 IQD, and it is now being displayed publicly on major financial tickers, banking terminals, and international exchange boards. That's right. This isn't just chatter in the community or confidential bank memos. This is real, confirmed, and live. Let's take a moment to recognize what a monumental shift this represents for Iraq, the global economy, and especially for you, the dedicated holder who refused to give up. So, how did we get here? Let's rewind a bit. Over the past few weeks, we've been tracking increasing signs that something big was about to drop. There were escalating reports from inside Iraq about final negotiations between the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, and the IMF. Several regional banks quietly updated their back-end systems, preparing for currency rate updates. Currency traders in Europe and Asia noticed unusual spikes in demand for IQD, and there were whispers of international contracts being adjusted to reflect new valuations. But even with all of that, few anticipated the suddenness of today's announcement. Earlier this morning, at precisely 9 a.m. Baghdad time, the Iraqi government held a surprise joint press conference with the CBI and representatives from the Ministry of Finance. The statement was short, but historic. Iraq officially declared the launch of its Economic Sovereignty Initiative, and at the center of that plan was the full international reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar at a globally recognized rate. Following that press event, financial news networks like Bloomberg, CNBC, and Al Jazeera Financial began streaming the updated Forex tickers. Viewers across the globe saw, in real time, the IQD's rate jump from its long-standing program rate of 1,320 IQD to 1 USD to a stunning and confirmed 3.71 non. That's a change that has completely redefined the currency landscape and immediately elevated Iraq's status as a financial power in the Middle East. Banks across Europe, the US, and Asia quickly followed suit, updating their digital terminals to reflect the new rate. Screens in bank branches, airport currency exchanges, and trading platforms now publicly display the Iraqi dinar side by side with major world currencies like the US dollar, euro, and British pound, and the impact has been immediate and explosive. Social media platforms have lit up with videos of people in branches across the US and Canada confirming the rate in person. Twitter, or X as it's now known, Telegram, and Reddit RV communities are flooded with screenshots, videos, and eyewitness accounts showing the IQD trading at this historic rate. There are stories coming in from Florida, Texas, California, New York, and even Canada and Australia. People confirming live exchange rates and, in some cases, already beginning the exchange process. Redemption centers, long rumored and speculated upon, are now fully active. Sources have confirmed that Tier 1 exchanges, those involving individuals with authenticated and large holdings, are already underway. And Tier 4B, the Internet Group, is expected to begin processing exchanges within 24 to 48 hours. We're also receiving word that major banks, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, HSBC, and even regional credit unions have been given green lights to begin processing IQD exchanges under the new international rate. A few high-level insiders have even leaked internal memos instructing bank employees to follow strict security protocols while handling dinar exchanges. And yes, the NDA protocols, rate tiers, and contract options are real. Some of the larger holders are being offered premium rates, well over the public rate of 371, if they choose to enter specific humanitarian project agreements. But even the standard rate is life-changing. Imagine holding $1 million IQD, something many investors acquired for under $1,000 USD, and being able to now exchange it for $371 million US dollars. This is not speculation. This is happening. Let's talk about what this means for Iraq. The country has fought tooth and nail to rebuild its economy, regain control over its monetary policies, and position itself as a legitimate economic force in the region. This revaluation is more than just a number on a screen. It's a declaration that Iraq is open for business, sovereign, and no longer under the limitations imposed by post-war sanctions and IMF restrictions. Oil contracts are now being renegotiated with this new rate in mind. Trade agreements are being rewritten. Iraqi citizens, many of whom have long suffered under the burden of economic instability, now face a brighter future. Salaries, pensions, and government programs will have more purchasing power than at any time in the past 20 years. And for dinar holders outside Iraq, this is a generational opportunity. People who believed in this moment, who did their research and held through the doubts, are now in a position to transform their financial lives. We're hearing reports of people already scheduling debt payoffs, launching businesses, and even organizing charitable initiatives. Some are calling this a modern-day wealth transfer, a rebalancing of financial energy that will empower everyday people to make real, lasting change in their communities. There's also a geopolitical component to all of this. With the IQD now internationally recognized and valued at 3/71, the balance of financial power in the Middle East has shifted. Iraq is no longer a passive participant but a major player. Other countries are now positioning themselves to align with Iraq economically. China, for example, has already announced new trade talks with Iraq, and the European Union is reportedly fast-tracking a new economic cooperation treaty. The United States, having supported Iraq's economic reconstruction for years, is now benefiting as American investors and contractors in Iraq see exponential returns. Now let's address the exchange process, because that's where a lot of questions are coming in. If you are holding physical dinar, now is the time to act, but act wisely. Many banks are implementing appointment-only systems for dinar exchanges due to overwhelming demand. If you haven't already done so, contact your local bank branch and ask if they are handling IQD exchanges at the international rate. Some banks are routing customers to specialized currency centers or redemption offices, especially for larger amounts. Security is also a top concern. Be cautious. Do not share your holdings publicly. Keep your information secure and make sure to consult with a trusted financial advisor or wealth manager to navigate this transition effectively. We also want to reiterate that while the rate is now live, not every bank or region may have updated instantly. Some branches may still be rolling out system updates or waiting on final instructions from higher-level executives. That doesn't mean the RV isn't real. It simply means the rollout is happening in stages, as expected for a global event of this magnitude. Stay patient, stay informed, and do not panic if your local branch is still catching up. The dominoes are falling, and within the next 24 to 72 hours, we expect full global parity to be in place. What about taxes? This is a big question, and while we are not licensed tax professionals, early reports suggest that this may be considered a capital gains event, depending on your country of residence. In the U.S., you'll likely need to declare your gains, and the tax rate will depend on whether your dinar was held short-term or long-term. Many advisors recommend setting aside 30% to 40% of your exchanged funds until you consult a CPA or tax attorney. This is not the moment to cut corners. Do everything legally and with integrity, so your blessing becomes a permanent legacy. As we celebrate, let's also take a moment to reflect. This journey has not been easy. Many have faced skepticism, ridicule, and even financial hardships while holding on to their belief in the RV. Some have lost loved ones along the way, or faced personal setbacks, all while waiting for this day. But your patience, your faith, and your perseverance have not been in vain. Today, we honor you. You are part of a historic moment, one that will be remembered for generations, and this is only the beginning. With the dinar now revalued, attention will soon shift to other currencies, most notably the Vietnamese dong, and possibly the Zim and Rupiah. Could we see a cascading wave of revaluations as part of a broader global financial reset? Time will tell, but the dominoes are